Alright, so if you've made it this far, I want to commend you. You have done an awesome job, and we are almost done. So I want to go ahead and show you how to upload all these files to your website host. So your website host is the person that makes these files viewable to the internet. So somebody put, www.yourdomain into the web browser and clicked enter, your website would pop up. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to use FileZilla to do this. And we're going to have to go get your FTP information. I'm going to show you real quick how to do that with 1&1, which is the company that I use and have used for over a decade, and highly recommend for newbies because it's a different type of control panel and very easy to use. So if you don't have FileZilla, let's go ahead and download that now. That's free. So let's just go ahead to Google and type in FileZilla here. Yeah, FileZilla project, client download. So the actual domain is FileZilla-project.org. The easiest way for you to find it is going to be to Google this thing, I think. And what we want is the client. We don't have any use for the server. So if you're at the home page here, let's just go ahead and download the FileZilla client. Now, of course, go ahead and select whatever you're doing here. If you got Windows or Mac, or those you diehards with Linux, go ahead and download that. I would do the setup, so you can just go ahead and download, Windows setup here. This is going to be the same thing as everything else. Pop it up, go ahead and go through the setup and run through that. This is a completely free open source program. I'm not going to do that because I already have it. This is what it looks like. So the only thing we need here, I guess I can explain this real quick. This is the medium, this is the software that takes the files from your computer and puts them on the web server. So the only thing that we need is the host information, the username, and the password. So let's go ahead over and get that information here. So here's my 1&1 account, and you can see that it's going to be a lot different than the other cPanel. I'm telling you, I like it. These guys are great. If you're looking for a web host, you don't have one yet, they have 24/7 telephone customer service. Every single time I've run into a problem, these guys bend over backwards and even like eventually end up doing it themselves just to make sure that it works for me. So here you can see the control panel, and it's a lot different than any other control panel you're going to see out there. They've made it point and click simple. So what we first want to do is manage our domain. So if you're just setting up an account with these guys, you had to go ahead or you could have gone ahead and selected a domain. Then we want to select a destination. So basically a domain, a .com, just floats in digital cyberspace until you put a folder with it. So just like a folder on your hard drive for your computer, we need to have a folder for that domain. So all the files for the domain, every website is nothing more than files and folders and images and scripts and stuff. So basically we're just going to click on the domain, do a little tick in the box here. We'll go up to destination, click on the down arrow, click edit destination. Now you see here home directory, there you can forward to your domain. We're going to leave it on home directory. An existing directory, we haven't set up a directory for it yet, so we want to create a new directory. A directory is just a folder again. So we're just going to go ahead and name the directory. I'm going to call this intro niche. And we'll go ahead and click OK. And that's all there is to it. There's nothing hard here. So now that we've set up a directory, a destination folder for our domain, we can go back to the administration panel and we'll set up an FTP account. So basically an FTP is file transfer protocol, and that's what this does. And it's a huge name for this software speaks between the computer and the web server. So we need to set up an FTP account, which basically is just a username. It's going to tell this program exactly where to put the files. what directory, that folder we just set up on the domain, it's going to tell it that we want the files to go there. So a bunch of mumbo jumbo, let that come in one ear and out the other. I'm step by step in here, so it'd be very easy to follow along. So underneath here, you're just going to go to FTP access, and we're going to go ahead and create a new user. So here we can just call this intro niche. We're going to make a password. I want you to write this down at the same time too. So you're going to want to remember this number, and you're going to want to remember what name you used here and the password that you've used here, because what we're going to do is we're going to put our domain here because that's the host, and then we're going to put our username here, which is this username right here, and we're going to put that password right here and just click connect, and that's all we're going to have to do to make FileZilla connect to our computer and the web host. So let's go ahead and continue on with that. We'll just do a password. This description doesn't matter for anything other than your purposes, so I can just call this intro to niche marketing. Be fine. And we already created a directory. So that domain, the file, the directory that we just set up, that's what we want to select here, because that's what this is going to point to, this particular FTP account. So we can look on. So we can look under here. What do we call that again? Intro niche, I believe. You can see I have a ton of them in here. There it is. So intro niche. So once that's there, we'll just go ahead and click save. Go to overview, and you can see that our username is right here. So we're just going to go ahead and grab this username. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go over to FileZilla, and I'm going to put that username right here. Now I'm going to put my password in, and the host is the domain. So let's go back to the domains just real quick. I just want to go over this again. The domain that you used to set up this intro niche, obviously the domain that we're using, you're probably going to have a lot less of them in here than I do. But we're just going to use this domain, and we're not going to put the www dot. We're just going to put domain.com in. So I used and that's it. So we've got our domain in, which is known as the host, our username, our password, and we don't have to do anything for port here. So we'll just hit quick connect. You see a bunch of jumbo go on up here, and now this has popped this up. Since this is an open directory, there's nothing over here. Now basically, I'm just going to go over here. What you're seeing is two sides. So like I was saying, there's an A and a C side to the equation. So, you know, that sounds super technical, doesn't it? On this side is the local site. On this side is the remote site. So the local site is your computer. And you'll see here that your computer's right here. Here's your desktop and your C drive and my D drive and all that other crap. This is just your computer. So you're going to select the files over here that you want to put on your web host. So this side over here is your web host. This is the server side of it. So anything I put onto here is going to be live on the internet and searchable through a browser. So let's go ahead and show how it's done here. So I can see right here, here's my Dreamweaver projects. If I click on this, everything in that Dreamweaver projects folder pops up down here. So I can search for my intro niche folder, because that's the folder that I set up for this particular website. So I'll click on this and I'll double click this. So if I was to upload, let me just go back real quick. If I was to upload this folder, and this is kind of like a website hierarchy lesson. If I was to upload this folder like this, you can just grab it and drag it and drop it, or right mouse click and hit upload. People would have to search www.mydomain.com/intro niche, and then the website would pop up. since I wanted to just go to the .com, so I want it to be, www.mydomain.com, and have them pull up a website, I want to open up this folder and just take all these files and put them on the internet. Another quick note, let this come in one ear and out the other. The index file is the root for every folder. So if I was to put in mydomain.com/introduction to niche marketing PLR/sales page, it would automatically pull this index file. So I wouldn't have to put /sales page /index.html to bring up the page. So likewise, this index folder is going to be at the root level if I just upload these files. I might have confused you there. Again, this is super easy. Don't let it get ahead of you. We're just going to go ahead and hit Control A. So we'll hold Control on the keyboard and push A, and that's going to select all these files. I'm going to go ahead and push the right mouse button and click Upload. Now you're going to see down here all the files are being transferred over. See that two have already gone over there, our index file, and our index file is that capture page file, which is another note. When you're working on this, you do not want to change the name of the index.html. You can change the name of the download folder. The only place that you're going to have to take note of that is in Aweber or Automate Your List, but don't change the name of the index.html because, like we're saying, that's the .com. If you put yourdomain.com, the index file is going to be what's pulled up from the browser. I know that might not sound understandable at all if you've never had a lesson in HTML or website hierarchy, the pyramid at which the folders and access levels work. It's a bunch of technological crap for basically just please simply don't change the name of the file because that's the way that it works. So we're going to see here, this is going to take a few moments. Obviously there's some big images in these zip files. So right now this FileZilla is using File Transfer Protocol. It's speaking in English to the web server right now and transferring all the files over to the website host. And these files, as soon as they're done loading up, are going to be accessible through the internet. So we could type in that domain and voila, you're going to see this website pop right up in your browser. Alright, so now that has all uploaded to the web server and you can see all those files there. Now it's time to go ahead and test everything. So we'll do that in the next video.